Okay, hi Jayden. I hope you're having a good holiday. Mine is fabulous because I love drafting Year 12 drafts. Anyway, um, this is a new way of drafting. Get to listen to my voice. What I've done is I've sort of highlighted in yellow ideas that I think we need to change, or it might be editing or poor expression. And then sometimes in red, I might just have highlighted a few little, or added in a few things, or just highlighted a few editing, grammatical or spelling errors. So the first thing I notice is you are over the word count, so you're going to need to do some cutting. I think here, when you talk about form, this is more. This is more social context because you haven't actually addressed what form each advertisement takes. You need to go back to the task sheet. You need to have a look back at the PowerPoint. Form is it a magazine advertisement? Would it have been placed in magazines and newspapers, or would it be online in this case, or billboards, bus shelters? Where would those billboards and bus shelter advertisements be situated? Would they be near sporting stadiums? Would they be in shopping malls where there are sports shops? With this one, I think you've got a fairly good idea that it's going to be in a magazine or a newspaper because of the amount of writing that there is. So we're looking at the understanding of the target audience. Have they got time? Are they sitting and flicking through a newspaper or a magazine, and therefore they've got time to read all this information? Or are they driving past? Or are they walking past? Are they at this point very much part of our society, which is everyone's going everywhere in a hurry? So advertisers have literally just a few seconds to grab their target audience's attention and actually engage them with their target, with their core message. So that's what you need to be looking at in form. Just a few things. People, don't talk about people in media, talk about consumers or target audience. A multinational corporation that provides people with a range of different shoes, clothing, accessories to keep society up to date with all the latest trends in fashion through their innovative advertisements. Well, really, what they're doing is they're not keeping us up to date with fashion. They're building a desire within their target audience to want to keep up to date with the innovations and fashions that their brand is part of. So just be careful. They're manipulating us. They're not helping us. They're making you spend your hard-earned money, Jayden. So you need to look at form. Purpose. Again, you haven't really addressed what the purpose of advertising is. You need to go back to the PowerPoint and have a look. Purpose of advertising is to sell the product by creating or building a desire within their target audience that makes them want to purchase the product and makes the advert memorable. So you need to go back and check on that. Yes, all advertisements have a target audience. I think you need to be more specific here. Specifically, you can't just say targeting the soccer community. Specifically men, I'd say males. And I've said it again and again, I want ages. So are we looking at 13 and up? Are we looking at 15 and up? I think, yes, if you talk about social context, soccer is huge and it's getting younger and younger. But I think possibly this is this the same age group as this? Are the sort of men, sort of 20, 25, 30-year-olds playing soccer? Do they want to wear this kind of boot? You need to have a look and do a bit of research into that. but I think definitely it's a male audience, despite the rise of soccer in female amongst young women. So just again, be careful of your word count. Yes, you're using this as boss everyone. That's masculine language, boss. So this helps to support why you believe that the target audience is predominantly male. And in the other advertisement, the fact that they list all those players, they're all male. Again, at the time, that was a very male-dominated game. So you just need to go and back up with evidence, but just keep it short and concise. Now, you've kind of gone off track here. This is not really to do with, or you need to tidy it up if you want to make it relevant to your target audience. So this is a good idea, but has it got pink tips on the studs? Oh, yes, it does. Okay, so that needs to go into your target audience. Oh, it is in your target audience. Okay, sorry, I'm getting confused. So perhaps you want to say that perhaps this is showing the development of the industry, in that it is now trying to reach a less gender specific audience. And with the rise in AFL, that's just in Australia, so you need to be careful, women's AFL, but female soccer teams all over the world, and the rise in that they are making the green tips can make it more attractive to younger women. Okay. Social context. The two advertisements share the viewpoint of Adidas buyers themselves. I'm not sure what you mean there. The two advertisements share the key, or one of the key messages of Adidas, which is this idea of excellence in sport, or sport has the power to change. But I'm not quite sure what you mean there. You're being a bit wordy here. I don't really need to know. You can, but just be careful about your word count. Just be specific. 1970 World Cup, and that should be capital letters. I think you're just going off track a bit. Pele, who went on to win the cup for will win the World Cup for Brazil. Don't use colloquialisms like kickstarted the boot evolution. You say was the catalyst for the boot evolution, bringing new technology into place. That's good. But perhaps here is where you talk a little bit more about the female interest, and how with the pink tips, again, it is broadening out to females as well as males. Now, please don't use you. You're talking about consumer, target audience, intended audience, etc. Visual elements. You've got a lot more to do here, Jayden. You need to get back to that elements of visual language handout. You need to look at the annotated advertisements that are attached to it, and you're going to need to address 3 or 4 key techniques using clear topic sentences with your evidence from the advertisement, and then you've got to explain how that helps to connect the audience with their core message. So, for example, both advertising creatives have used camera shots and angles to position their target audience to connect with their core message. Okay, and then you go on to explain how. So here you've got a close-up, you've got a point of view, so we're looking straight at it. Look at the way that the text is laid out. It's sort of mirroring the shape of the boot here. It's very clever. And here, again, you've got an overhead shot which is positioning us directly above. You've got an overhead shot and a point of view shot. So they've used special effects here. So again, the actual product itself is very much in evidence. We can see all the little details. Look at the vectors here. Look at this triangle that's formed with the special effect light, sort of laser lights, and how that ties in with the triangle of the logo. And the triangle that's formed, the shape of the triangle that's formed by the positioning of the boots. Nobody has 3 feet, Jayden. So you've got 3 boot shots here, left, right, and then overhead. So we really get to see all the little details about this boot. Look at the evolution of the Adidas logo. It's gone from this black rectangle to this 3-stripe sort of asymmetric triangle. So you need to sort of comment on that, because that's, if you look on this boot, that's what it is. Look at the text, the font choice. It's all lowercase. It's all in the same sans serif font of the Adidas logo. Same here, except they've changed it to capital letters. Why? What's the effect of capital letters? It's compelling, it's authoritative. And what's it saying? It's saying, boss everyone, be the difference. It's compelling command language, and the use of capital letters reinforce that. Here, this use of sans serif lowercase would have actually been really quite out there at the time. This isn't the world of texts when capital letters suddenly didn't have a place anymore. So this would have been very, very sophisticated at the time. You need to look at when you analyze the language, they're using its statistics and evidence. It's a clear language, persuasive technique. You've got here, I think what you've missed is that this is obviously was produced or published in the UK, because it says sole UK distributors, Humphreys Brothers Limited, Wilmslow, Cheshire. So it's telling you telling the consumer where they can buy the product. But again, this close-up, you can actually see the stitching. You can see the 3 stripes, and it says here the original shoe with 3 stripes, and you can see the evolution of that Adidas 3-stripe. They've incorporated it into their logo. Lighting and color. The fact that this is in black and white, that probably makes me think that it was a newspaper advertisement rather than a magazine advertisement. So you've got a bit more work to do here on both the language and the visual elements. Go back to that elements of visual language at the very bottom. I've written out the language features that you need to look at. Jargon, not repetition, inclusive pronouns, you, and what desire are they trying to appeal to? You say needs and wants used. Well, they're not used, they're appealed to in all advertisements. Yes, and so Adidas cleverly uses this to draw in their target audience's emotional and self-belief through the language that they use. But you don't really then go into detail about, so this is, they do use the text very cleverly, the way that they've positioned it to highlight the product. But you are going to need, you've done, all of this is just on the hashtag. Okay, all of this, all on the hashtag. That's too much on hashtag. It's just the hashtag is like a 2-sentence reference to the hashtag that this is an age of social media. So you need to go and do a little bit more work on that. Conclusion, you need to show your understanding that you're evaluating from the perspective of this era. So that's why you find it. Go back and just have a look at the most effective techniques. okay, well done. And